Pero hanggang ngayon, ang politika natin parang family business pa rin. Ama, anak, asawa, kapatid, pinsan, paikot-ikot lang sa pwesto. Baka ito ay batas na magmumukhang anti-dynasty lang sa papel pero magbibigay lang ng legal roadmap para makaligtas ang political families. Simple lang ang tanong natin, kung ang public office ay public trust, bakit parang minamana ito?
In areas wherein you have more dynasties, you have less accountability.
Yes.
Another study nakita rin natin, in areas na maraming dynasty, mataas yung poverty. 3% of our districts, political dynasty. 75% of our Senate, political dynasty. They have majority control of the budget and this allows them, madali sa kanila magnakaw ng pera kasi sistema na eh.
Welcome to Bosses. Ang boss, my bosses. This is not a podcast of colors, not yellow, red, green, blue, or pink. This is a podcast for Filipinos, those who feel they are not heard, struggling to get by, and those searching for hope. Here we don't favor personalities, we discuss issues, ask questions, listen to overlooked stories, and challenge power when it forgets the people. Because democracy is not only about loudest voices, it's also about giving a voice to those told to stay quiet. This is Bosses, ang boss, my bosses. For our episode today, anti-dynasty o ang tanong natin, dynasty protection ba ang halos 4 na dekada ng sinasabi ng konstitusyon na dapat ipagbawal ang political dynasties. Pero hanggang ngayon, ang politika natin parang family business pa rin. Ama, anak, asawa, kapatid, pinsan, paikot-ikot lang sa pwesto. Ngayon, may pinapasang anti-dynasty bill pero maraming grupo ang nagsasabi baka hindi ito tunay na reforma. Baka ito ay batas na magmumukhang anti-dynasty lang sa papel pero magbibigay lang ng legal roadmap para makaligtas ang political families. Today, we speak with Attorney Africa of Dapat Isa Lang Movement. Simple lang ang tanong natin, kung ang public office ay public trust, bakit parang minamana ito? Welcome, Attorney Africa.
Thank you for having me. Actually, ang ganda ng intro, no? Narinig ko pala yung intro, parang sakto itong podcast at
Yes,
para sa amin
yes.
sa Dapat Isa Lang.
Attorney Africa, sa pinakasimpleng paliwanag natin sa tao, ano ba talaga ang problema dito sa sinasuggest nilang anti-political dynasty bill? Is it just about surnames or is it about monopoly of power?
So, when you look at the bill that we have right now na pinusulong ngayon sa Congress, we find, may 2 versions tayo. Meron tayong level of the House, meron tayong level of the Senate. The House version, we're calling it pro-dynasty. It's pro-dynasty because it allows a family to have multiple positions. Isa sa national, pero you can have 2 or more sa mga distrito, 2 or more sa bawat probinsya, 2 or more sa mga city municipality, tas 2 or more per barangay. So in essence, no, parang naging pro-dynasty.
Oh,
They're
parang
able to hold
lalong
power.
kumalat,
Yes.
no?
And
Kung may
it
2 or more.
legitimizes.
Yes.
I mean, pwede na talaga, legalized na siya.
Bakit ito mas malalim kaysa sa popular lang or binoto naman sila? Marami kasing nagsasabi na bakit natin i-prevent kung ang sinasabi the power belongs to the voter at dahil gusto naman ng mga bumoboto, igalang daw natin o respeto natin yung voters' decision.
Alam ko yung voters yun natin ayaw sa corruption. So actually, nung sumabog yung flood control scandal last year, naging malinaw sa amin na ang daming galit na Pilipino, no? Mm-hmm. And if you look at the surveys that we're seeing right now, 64% of Filipinos gusto na ng anti-political dynasty law. But for us, the reason why ang dali i-connect ng political dynasty sa corruption, kasi nakikita natin sa data natin, grabe. In areas wherein you have more dynasties, you have less accountability.
Yes.
May study na lumabas, no, yung ombudsman natin nag-rely sa testimonial evidence. Mm-hmm. But in areas wherein you have multiple positions held by a dynasty, the chances of prosecution actually goes lower. The more dynasties, the more seats nakaupo dynasty doon. And in the same in another study nakita rin natin, in areas sa maraming dynasty, mataas yung poverty. So, paikot-ikot sila sa upuan, pero paikot-ikot rin tayo sa cycle natin of corruption kung saan they are able to steal billions and trillions of pesos. Magagalit yung taong bayan. Kunyari, may makukulong. Pero after an election cycle, makakaupo ulit sila, makatakbo ulit sila. And paikot-ikot na lang talaga tayo. And they're able to steal billions of pesos. And some of that money goes to their pockets, no? But a lot of that money actually goes into vote buying.
Yeah.
So it's harder for people to actually vote for the right people because you have money involved. So, malaki yung influence. And
Sinabi
dito
mong
talaga
data kanina, no, that you run, na pag dun sa certain district or certain location na mas maraming political or related families ang nakaupo, mataas yung corruption. And marami din nagsasabi natin, mga netizens natin, na yung corruption, hindi lang naman to sa mga taong nakaupo na public officials. Pwede din ito dun sa mga connivance in terms of projects, allocations of projects or mga bids na tinatawag natin. Ano naman yung stand natin about that?
I think babalik tayo sino yung pinaka-principal dito. Sino yung pinaka-nagpo-push ng corruption, no? And at the end of the day, it's going to be our political dynasties. Kasi hawak din ang kapangyarihan. Sinabi ko nga kanina, 3% of our districts, political dynasty. 75% of our Senate, political dynasty. They have majority control of the budget. And this allows them, madali sa kanila magnakaw ng pera. Kasi sistema na eh. Parang in essence, business as usual na sa kanila magnakaw every year. Year in, year out, maglalagay sila sa Congress. So, yung everyone else, these are just small players. Nababayaran sila. Alam ko last year, nagkaroon ng parang pie on how much people get back. I think gets 0.6%. COA gets like, I think, 1 to 3%. But the majority of the money actually goes to political dynasties. Yung mga contractor yung nakasabot dito, very likely, kamag-anak rin ng mga
Na
political
kung kahit
dynasty.
na hindi ka mag-anak, for example, so sasabihin nila, ang workaround nito, okay, iba ang papaupuin natin, pero kaalyansa niya yung nakaupo. Optics, hindi nga kamag-anak, pero talagang mga kasamahan na sa negosyo o kasamahan na sa kanilang alliance. And doon din nagsisimula, how do we protect or prevent this with a particular bill that we are trying to push?
So we are pushing for an anti-political dynasty bill. The thinking behind this is that it's much easier for you to call out someone you're not related to versus your cousin. So, kunyari yung cousin mo nangurakot or yung tito mo nangurakot, feeling namin because we're still such a familial country, ang hirap i-call out eh. Pero
Kahit na dinedeny nila, sasabihin nila, hindi, kahit nakamag-anak ko yan
Yes.
because ako'y naninindigan sa
Yes.
batas. Hindi tayo naniniwala doon.
feeling ko mahirap eh. Feeling ko tinatanong ko
Or
sa
because
mga tao.
it's statistics natin, tinitingnan natin overall, yung possibility is higher. That's what we're saying here.
And yeah, the statistics supports this sentiment
Yeah,
na rin talaga.
yeah.
So at the same time, so kami naisip namin, if we have more different people in places of power, it's easier to call out all of these. Even yung mga relatives, yung mga kamag-anak, pwede call out na, ay, di ba kamag-anak mo ito nagbibid? So in essence, you have the law in place already. Di talaga naman dapat pwede makabid yung mga may kamag-anak
Okay.
sa gobyerno.
Dun sa lower house,
Yes.
yung mga napakadaming bills about anti-dynasty. And I think, I don't know kung meron ng substitute umbrella. May umbrella bill na ba tayo or wala pa that we can really flesh out and drill down kung ano-ano yung mga weaknesses. Your group, ano yung mga nakita ninyong medyo outstanding weaknesses ng mga anti-political dynasty bill?
So for us to, yung when we did our own analysis, yung pinaka-glaring talaga is that allowing a family to have multiple seats in different positions.
Yeah.
Because that's precisely yung ayaw rin talaga natin, no? But at the same time, isang malaking kahinaan din talaga ay yung degree
Of consanguinity.
Because at the level of the Senate, it's Senate version, better version siya
Which
compared
is?
to House. Ito yung SB 1931.
Which is how many degree ba
2
yun?
degrees din siya.
Oo. So,
How-
parehas lang.
Parehas lang. Pero at least si Senate kasi, isa lang sila sa national, isa lang sa local.
The location, the
Yes,
demographics.
It matters eh. But for us, watered down yung Senate bill kasi sinasabi nila, no, in their own press conferences, 30% yung matatanggal na dynasties if mag 2 degrees tayo. But that is also just an admission na 70% of dynasties will remain. That just means they still have control of House, they still have control of Senate,
Yeah.
they will still have control of the budget. Which in essence means corruption will still happen. Because yun nga yung problema, pare-parehong nakaupo.
Oo. So, ang stand natin, 4th degree.
Yes.
Tama. I actually personally also sent draft of my own version at parehas tayo ng stand doon na 4th degree talaga yung mas effective. Yung talagang kung gusto nating tanggalin to, napakadaming Pilipino. Ilang million ang Pilipino. I'm sure hindi
116
naman
yata, 116
Oo, hindi
million
naman to
yata.
dapat nakakoncentrate or there's no like very few families ang may monopoly of being able to run the country. I'm sure mas maraming competent dyan. Hindi lang nabibigyan ng pagkakataon because yung makinarya nga na na-build na throughout the years, decades na sila about not just a vote buying per se, but yung na-master na nilang power, that how they deal with their constituents, nagkaroon na ng ganyang klaseng influence and loyalty. Even the ordinary voters, hindi na rin makaalis sa ganyan kasi sasabihin na, wala namang tatakbo maliban dito kay ganitong pamilya. And without naming all of these very political or dynastic families, ano yung nakikita natin na based on data probably and science, when we analyze yung 4th degree versus 2nd degree, anong magiging impact nito sa palagay natin?
So for us, I think yung understanding namin, 2nd degree takes out 30%. When we talk to COMELEC, they're saying na if you go 4th degree, almost lahat ng dynasties natin covered na already, even almost close to 100%. But in our own bill, and I think we're aligned in our versions, no, parang sinasabi namin, dapat isa lang sa national, dapat isa lang sa local. So this also goes into the narrative na if magaling talaga nagpe-perform, may ibang dynasty nagpe-perform, pwede naman sila tumakbo. Pero dapat isa lang. Kasi wag naman yung kahama na lahat ng possessions, hawak na nila. That's the recipe for disaster.
Okay, but I'll challenge you.
Yes,
Kasi baka may biases tayo.
Okay.
So since paros we agree on the 4th degree consanguinity, how about for example, if the Senator Tito Soto and the pinapatulak ng mga karamihan, the majority na, sige, mag-run naman din si Vico Soto. What if parehas silang nasa senatorial race? What would happen?
So for us, no, yung version na meron kami at the level of the Senate, it's considered a multi-member body. So yung sabi namin, they can both run, but the person who gets the higher number of votes will be able to remain. So in essence, sumabay tumakbo si Tito Soto and si Vico Soto, kung sino mas mataas sa bondante, sino mas gusto ng botante, siya yung makakuha ng position. But yung mas lower, mag-give way to another senator. So ganun siya lalabas.
I think yan, parehas na nasa bill yan eh. And hindi naman siya rocket science actually eh. Yung probably yung mga pinagsama-sama nating provision, those are best practices. Done also in other countries. Ang mahirap lang talaga sa atin, bakit hindi natin mabitaw-bitawan to? Ano pa na, simulat sa pa, no? Ilang dekada na nandyan yung mga certain families at tuloy-tuloy lang. And let's make it more concrete. Under a weak law, can one family still control a province or district through different positions? Governor, mayor, congressman, paano natin nakikita yung distribution na to?
So right now, no, under the version that we have at the House level, for sure, they will be able to hold all of these positions. Yung graphic na pinapakita namin sa version namin, isa lang matitira sa national at sa local positions for one dynasty holding 10 seats. Sa version ng House, isa lang yung matatanggal. So obviously, if it's a weak law, mahirap talaga, no? And sa Senate version naman natin, 30% lang yung tatanggal nila. So that means, majority of positions, hawak pa rin ng political dynasty. And again, nakita natin, if at least yung study na basa ko, at least if tatlo yung hawak na position, governor, congressperson, and mayor, recipe na yun for corruption, recipe na pa yun for all the bad things na ayaw natin makita natin sa Pilipinas.
Ano sa palagay mo ang thought process ng mga kongresista na umaayon dun sa weak dynasty law na nandyan ngayon sa lower house? Why are they protecting?
I think, first of all, it's because they're dynasties. So may clear conflict of interest. You're asking the dynasties to hold dynasties accountable, to create an anti-dynasty law in the same way na you're asking corrupt politicians to hold corrupt politicians accountable. There's a clear conflict of interest kasi if matanggal sila dyan, a lot of them, nakasanay na dito, nakasanay na nila. May nagkasabi nga sa amin, paano naman yung mga anak na mga political dynasty, ano na nagagawin nila ngayon? Wala na silang trabaho. Wala na silang pangkukuha na ng pera.
Wow. So, problema pala natin yun.
Problema pala ng taong bayan
yun.
Yes.
So, ibig sabihin, dun sa mga narratives na, magaling naman eh. Bakit natin ipiprevent if they can run a city, the country, certain powerful seat, why are we preventing this?
So, our bill precisely does not prevent this. Kaya nga sinabi namin dapat isa lang. What it prevents is the recipe na sabay-sabay makaupo. So, if sobrang galing talaga ng isang dynasty, allow them to run. We allow them to run. We will even encourage them to run kasi baka pwede pa rin sila iboto ng taong bayan. Yung ayaw natin is pwedeng makatakbo anak niya, makatakbo tito niya, pati pinsan niya.
Kung sinabi nilang lahat sila magaling kasi.
Kami, naniniwala kami na the data that shows us, no, if sabay-sabay nakaupo, likely mangangarakot rin kasi yan eh. I think yun yung kinakatakutan namin. When we first started the movement, it was very clear. We wanted to end corruption in the country.
Are you basing your movement based on your stigma or yung naging trauma natin? Or is this based on data or science?
So I think it's a bit of both, no? It's hard to build a movement with just data,
Yes.
with just science. So a lot of it for sure has emotions.
Experiential.
Exactly. And a lot of people, sawang-sawa na sa nangyayari sa Pilipinas talaga. And, you know, I work a lot with young people, you know, and a lot of it din is medyo ayaw na nila lumabas eh. Ayaw nila lumabas sa rally, ayaw nila punta sa EDSA. Because for the past few decades, every time lumalabas sa tao sa streets, wala rin nangyayari. Nagkaroon tayo ng PDAF scandal before, nagka-rally, after that, in that scenario, isa pa lang nako-convict na with finality, si Napoles, hindi pa politiko. No? So for us, no, it's very clear, the system that we're in, it's a cycle.
Yeah.
And a systemic problem requires a systemic solution.
What can you say about seat switching? Kasi yung pinag-usapan natin, pag sabay-sabay,
Yes.
yung pagtakbo. How about yung pagpapasa ng mga power?
So for us, clear sa version po natin na wala, bawal sila mag-switch. Actually, we're adding it one further. Meron kaming tinatawag na cooling off period. So bawal pumalit ang any relative within the fourth degree. Bawal palitan yung inupuan ng relative niya, no? And kailangan nila mag-wait ng isang term for them to run. So for the mayor, for governor,
So,
this
hindi
simple.
successive.
Hindi successive. So bawal sabay-sabay, bawal successive. For mayor, governor, this might be simple, 3 years. But for a senator, that means 6 years. One term siya bawal. Bawal palitan yung senator for 6 years na kanyang kamag-anak.
For sure, malaking ang resistance yan.
Yes.
I see that lalo na yung sa seat or sa succession na meron pang cooling off period. But have you also tackled in your provision yung mga toss coin?
So right now, meron kaming 3 ways to resolve the problem.
Okay.
Yung first way is that you actually ask the family to talk to each other. If alam mong pareho yung tatakbo, baka may 2 tao na magsabi, okay, sino sa atin yung tatakbo? Para to be 15 days sila to resolve. Kung hindi na resolve, ang mangyari, sino yung higher position? So we automatically allow the higher position candidate to retain the seat, no? Kung magkapareho sila, dun papasok yung, instead of, we thought about isip tayo lottery, kasi nangyayari ngayon eh, toss coin tayo, but naisip namin, let's allow the people to decide. So part of that, if parehong position, kung parehong multi-member body nga ang mangyayari dyan, kung sino yung makakuha ng mas mataas na proportion ng boto, siya yung mag-remain. So for example, we have 2 brothers running for mayor, no? Isang mayor nakuha niya 55% of the vote, kabilang mayor nakuha niya 65% of the vote. The brother who got 65% of the vote yung mag-remain. Kasi yung mayor dito na dynasty, second placer yung papalit.
Tell us something about the party list loophole. Ito kasi yung talagang nagiging breathing ground ng ng political dynasty and also ng corruption.
So nakasad, no? Because
Oo.
yung party
Bata
list,
pa lang.
Kasi yung party list, dapat yun yung opportunity for marginalized sectors. Yung exactly, walang boses, no? Pero ngayon ang nangyari, 66% ng party list natin, dynasty ang may hawak. So for us, we consider them as a position. So it goes into the one national, one local. Pasok siya sa national. So if you're holding a party list seat, bawal ka na to have any
So kasama
national
siya
seat. Yes, kasama
sa
siya.
national seat.
Yes, sa version namin.
Sa version ninyo.
dapat.
So-
sa House version, wala tol. No mention.
Walang mention
Walang
at all.
mention.
So masyadong protected
Yes.
yung party list, no,
Yes.
as the loophole. Yung link nito, we've talked about yung connection ng political dynasties sa corruption. When one family controls local power, contracts, influence, and political machinery, what happens to checks and balances?
It goes out of the window.
Yeah.
Yun yung nakita natin. Yun nga. Kaya nga grabe yung study on lower chances of you to be prosecuted if puro pare-pareho nakaupo. But at the same time, nakita rin natin higher poverty incidence. So because of impunity, mandali magnakaw, yung mga mahihirap, pero marami rin.
Yun yung good point. I like that. Doon sa mga nakita nating data, we're in certain districts or municipalities or certain demographics or location na may high political dynasty presence, meron ba siyang correlation sa poverty index? Mas madami bang politikong magkakapamilya, mas mahirap o mas mayaman? Ano ba yan?
So in the study that we were able to find, no, the top 10 poorest provinces has a correlation with the top 10 poorest provinces in the country. So poorest provinces and highest dynasty density, magkakalapit siya para magkamag-anak.
Can we cite some examples sa data ninyo?
So I think right now, unfortunately, a lot of the regions or cities na nakita natin is sa BARM. So sa BARM nakita natin sila the worst dynasties in terms of dynastic incidents. I think nasa BARM region talaga. And at the same time, if you look at poverty incidents, BARM rin yung pinakamababa talaga in terms, pinakamataas sa poverty incidents. So nakita talaga natin malaki yung correlation na lang dalawa.
Alright, so clearly, in a nutshell, ano yung dapat isa lang na proposal? Ano yung mga salient points na gusto natin ipantindi sa ating mga nanonood?
I think siguro 4 points. So. Yung
4
pinakauna,
points.
dapat isa lang.
Dapat isa lang.
Dapat isa lang sa national, dapat isa lang sa local. So, we're pushing for that para clear to people what they're fighting for, what bill that they will be signing into as well. No? Pangalawa, we are identifying a 4th degree na mandate. No?
Yes.
Kasi for us, watered down talaga yung 2 degrees. It will not solve the corruption issue if mag 2 degrees tayo. Yung third natin is bawal succession.
Bawal ang
May
succession.
cooling off period tayo.
May cooling off period.
I think yung 4th, I can go through the resolutions that we have, no, but to be honest, I think yung important point is that we will pass this together. We don't have to rely on Congress, we don't have to rely on the President.
Yes.
Huwag na tayo mag-rely sa mga dynasty. Let's rely on the Filipino people.
Which prompts me to ask you, this movement is a people's initiative movement. This means that because we believe yung version in the House and the Senate medyo talagang watered down and the people are really disagreeing with those provisions, gusto natin na hindi na pagbotohan to sa upper and the lower house, pero the people which you are trying to gather from churches and universities, gusto natin ito yung ihain nating version. At anong klaseng strategy ang gagawin dito? Anong mechanics ba ng People's Initiative for the understanding of our viewers?
So the People's Initiative is such a beautiful concept, no? It's direct democracy kasi. It's actually 40 years na to sa constitution natin, it allows people to pass a law directly. You just have to gather enough signatures. You need 10% of nationally registered voters and 3% from every
So, how many
10%
signatures?
is around 7 million votes.
7 million votes.
3% range from around 5,000. Yung Batanes sa atin, 400 lang. But meron tayo, I think sa Rizal, nasa 30,000 votes. So that's a lot of votes that you have
Is
to
it
gather.
cumulative, the 7 million, national, hindi, or 10% per province, per, not
It's
necessarily?
cumulative, yeah. So if we just get 3% from everywhere else and meron tayong 10%
Sobrang
sa
malaki.
Davao, okay tayo doon. Like, we get 30% in other areas, I think okay tayo.
In our history, meron na bang naging people's initiative bill na napasa as a law?
There have been a lot of attempts, particularly by politicians, to change the constitution. Meron tayo nung 90s, or early 2000s. These were held, nagkaroon tayo ng legal issue dito nung umabot sa Supreme Court. Kasi to change the constitution, Supreme Court said, hindi pa enough yung law na meron tayo. But ang maganda sa atin, sa version natin, we're passing a law. We're not trying to change the constitution. So kami, we're hoping na with the age of social media, with technology, we'll be able to get more people to really sign the petition as well.
I think yung tool ngayon, yung social media,
Yes.
mas mahirap mag-gather and mag-raise ng awareness before kung magdo-door-to-door tayo. Ano ba yung ginagawa dati? Yung bombo? What do you call that? Meron kang owner type jeep.
Yes.
Na ano ko na, nung bandang mga 80s or 90s na magpupunta sa mga barangay at mag-a-announce to gather to raise awareness. But right now, we have the social media, we have the internet with us as a tool to really raise this kind of information distributed to as many as possible. Now, this People's Initiative, what can ordinary Filipinos do after watching this episode? Aside from signing up, we will flash the website where they can sign up for this People's Initiative. Paano pa sila makakatulong?
I think first of all, again, you mentioned already, sign the petition. But for us, malaking bagay if you just spread the news. Again, may survey tayo lumabas noong December, mga 52% of Filipinos gusto na ng anti-political dynasty law. Noong February of this year, naging 64% na. So tingin namin, gusto na, the numbers is with us. It's just a matter of getting people to know na there is this opportunity for you to actually change the history of the country. So part of it, talking to your friends. Sabi ko nga, imbetahan natin pamilya natin, mga kaibigan natin, kahit yung mga kaaway natin. Let's invite them to sign the petition. But if you're also interested to volunteer, we're looking for volunteers, people who want to help, people who are willing to stand sa aming mga signature collection stations. No? So, last June 12, nagkaroon kami ng National Signing Day. We want to replicate that maybe this month or maybe next month. But we're working with churches and schools. If you're willing to go to these schools and churches to volunteer your time and effort, even presence, and yung Facebook posts natin, that will be a very big help for all of us.
Yeah. This People's Initiative, especially your version of anti-political dynasty, hindi lang to tungkol sa apelido. This is about whether democracy belongs to the people, to the citizens, which of course translate to protecting the future of our families. Dahil galit na ang tao sa corruption, and based on the data na kung saan mas maraming concentration of dynastical families, nandun din yung taas or increase of corruption. This is not just possibilities, as you mentioned, this is experiential, nakikita na natin. Kung ang public office ay minamana, ang taong bayan ang nagiging audience sa isang political inheritance ng iilan. Ang gobyerno ay public trust. Therefore, hindi family business ang dapat gawin sa ating governance. Ang bansa ay hindi minamana, kundi pinapangalagaan properly with the right laws and the right governance. Thank you, Attorney Africa. That was a very short pero very meaty yung ating pinag-usapan, and I hope na explain natin ng malinaw sa ating mga viewers ano yung People's Initiative at ano yung gusto nating ipa-sign up sa kanila about the anti-political dynasty. And to our viewers, thank you for being part of this discussion. We'd love to hear your thoughts, reactions, and perspectives in the comment section. And let us know how or who you'd like us to invite in our next episode and what topics you want us to tackle in the upcoming segments. Until the next time, thank you again for watching and for making your voice heard. This is Bosses, kung saan ang boss, may bosses.